I'm Darren.
I'm Derek, and this is the Double D Podcast. It's a big episode for us.
Very big.
We've been talking, if you've been listening or watching our last couple of videos, and you know that we've been working with, we're the official podcast sponsor of Battle on the Border.
Yes.
And we said that we would be having some big episodes coming up, some interviews.
Yep, and
coming up. And this is our first one. This is our first one. So to anybody who's possibly new, watching us, thank you for watching us.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Hope you stick around, not just for this episode, but for any episodes that we do in the future, wrestling related or not. We don't just talk about wrestling on this show. We talk about a lot of other things. We have a lot of different videos you can go through and look.
Yeah, we do a bunch of dumb shit too.
Dumb shit. And but we are also the official podcast sponsor of Battle on the Border. We're taking this seriously, of course. And just again, it's been an honor working with them as far as we have so far. We have so much left planned for the future, so I'm very excited about that. Again, May 14th at the Morrow Arts Center, Morrow, Ohio, Battle on the Border. We'll be there. Darren won't be there. I'll be there though. My girlfriend will be there. My dad will be there. Make sure to come and join us. We'll have a table set up. We'll be meeting some of you guys, handing out some flyers, getting our name out there. And we'll be there at every Battle on the Border show that we can see for the foreseeable future as of this moment, unless there's some scheduling conflicts. But we will make sure that someone is there, damn it.
Yes.
It might just be me. It might be my dad. It might be my girl. I might just send my girlfriend out there. Just tell her to sit at this table and hand out flyers.
I won't be there physically, but I will be there spiritually. I'll be at a DJing gig, so.
Yeah, and he will be there
I'll be able to participate
at ones in the future for sure. So.
Oh, yes, 100%.
But this episode is our first interview. We
Yes.
just got done with it, just a little behind the scenes.
Give it away, why don't you?
We just got done with it, and it is none other than Russell Actafool Bland, who is he's not just a manager. Don't get it twisted. All right, I don't want to hear this just a manager talk. He is the manager of the Marquee Players. And obviously, if you're a Battle on the Border fan, you know who the Marquee Players are. And you should know. If you don't, you're about to learn who Russell Actafool Bland is.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy. It was a great interview, I thought it was.
Fantastic interview.
Went very well, and I'm very excited. We talked a lot about it. We talked about his introduction to wrestling, how he got involved with the business just in general, Battle on the Border specifically, his takes on fans and managers and other wrestlers. He said some things that I think some wrestlers, hey, listen, he said how he truly felt, and I don't disagree necessarily with some of what he said. I'm just throwing it out there.
And if you're a wrestler and get butthurt,
there's only one place to settle it, and that's in that ring. All right.
Yeah.
Settle it in there.
Or you can go on Double D Podcast.
Yeah, or you could come on here. If you're listening and you wanna reply, hey, just just hit me up, let me know, and we'll get it figured out.
You could come on Double D Podcast, but ultimately the ring is the best place.
That's the best place to settle it overall. But if you want to get in it, word it back at them.
Yeah.
You could always just let me know. We'll figure it out. I'm sure that we'll work with it, but.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to say real quick before we just jump right into this interview?
Not that I can think of.
All right, well, I guess that's it. Real quick, before, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, DJDub00. You can follow us on Instagram. It's the Double D Podcast 1. Or you can follow us TikTok is the Double D Podcast 1. I apologize. TikTok is the Double D Podcast 1. Instagram is the double_D_podcast. Take it away.
And if you want to email us, it's doubledpodcast123@gmail.com. And if you just love me, add my snap, Darren 113456789.
All right, let's get into this interview with Russell Actafool Bland. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name's Derek.
And I'm Darren.
And this is the Double D Podcast. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm stay ready.
All right. Well, I guess, do you have the first question, Darren? You want to take it off?
What made you get into being a fan of wrestling?
Well, it started back a long time ago, back in the early 80s. My oldest sister, she was a wrestling fan, and my grandmother was a wrestling fan, and I heard stories my grandmother told me about Cincinnati Gardens and different wrestlers that she would get to see down there, and that really got me interested, and I started watching, and saw like the managers, and I was watching what they were doing, and that was what really spoke to me. Like, I've always loved wrestling since I started watching it, probably about 81, 82, but it was the managers that really caught my eye, and that's what made me want to get into the business.
So, what were some of your favorite managers that you grew up watching?
I would say my top three would probably be Classy Freddie Blassie, Sensational Sherry, and it's a toss-up between Slick and Jimmy Hart, because both of those guys were very pivotal at the time that I started watching wrestling.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart's always going to be considered, I think, one of the top managers of all time. I mean, you can't beat a guy running around with a megaphone or a bullhorn, whatever you want to call it, running around.
And those airbrush suit jackets.
Oh yeah, they were awful. They were awful looking. If I'm being honest with you, but that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, he was great. I've been watching some old WWE on Peacock, and right now he's managing Hulk Hogan and Bruce the Barber Beefcake, getting close to WrestleMania 9. I mean, that's just his voice is just classic.
Yeah.
There's
you see and that's one of the guys that it's when people ask me, it's like me as a manager is basically these managers that I watch, like Mr. Fuji and Lou Albano, among others, that all of them, there's a little bit of them in my character as a manager.
Right. So did you go through wrestling school, or have you ever wrestled?
I actually slid in the back door, so to speak.
Oh.
I started out with my cousin Jake Shepard, which I managed him in a group of Marquee Players, and I basically was riding with him to his bookings because he trained with a guy named Roger Ruffin at the NWF.
Mm-hmm.
And I started out with him on his bookings, just going and helping him with his luggage and recording his matches for him. And then I'd stay after the show and help clean up, and they offered me a job on security, and from there they kind of started getting a feel for my personality, and I got a shot at managing Jake at another show back in 2017, which was my first time managing, and it was a match against person named Super Oprah. I don't know if you're familiar with that character or not, but that was my very first managing match with Jake versus Super Oprah, and it just went on from there.
Now I gotta ask, because we know Super Oprah, we're kind of fans of Super Oprah. Yes. What is it like working with Super Oprah? That's got to be a handful.
Oh man, sometimes I have to watch my back, because she referred to me as her mini chocolate Kofi Kingston. Yeah.
You gotta watch your back. She
gotta watch my back. I've seen her in action. She's a force to be reckoned with, I'd say.
She's really awesome. I really like Super Oprah.
So now the Marquee Players, you said has that been since 2017, or is that something that's a little bit more recent?
No, that's been since 2017. When we first started, we actually had my moniker, which is the Ultimate Wingman, and the name of the group before we actually had any bookings.
Right.
We were booking ourselves in our head, so to speak, on road trips to other promotions. And once we got comfortable with what we were coming up with, that's when we pretty much branched out and kept it moving.
You used to do that when you were growing up? You used to do promos in the mirror and stuff like that?
I would see, growing up, I had a different background, because a lot of people ask me that because I'm super comfortable on the mic and in front of crowds. Yeah. I actually grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So I spent the first 18 years of my life doing that, and because of that, I was in front of people a lot. I had to read in front of the church a lot, and that basically from like the age of 7 or 8 on up, I've been comfortable. And then I had a small local rap career for a while, so I've been to a few different clubs and performed and opened up for a couple of groups in Covington, little stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You hear a lot about that with certain wrestlers or managers or whatever. They always seem to have some type of background for acting. Some of them have done theater or whatever it may be. Sports is another big one, of course. That's why it's weird for us doing this Double D podcast, because this is kind of our first time putting ourselves out there. I didn't really do theater or really do anything else to get my name. This is kind of the first time. We've been doing this for about a year now. It'll be a year on Monday, and
that's cool.
This is kind of the first time getting ourselves out there. It's nerve-wracking a little. I mean,
it's definitely an experience.
Because I know for myself, being a manager, it's not a very lucrative position, so to speak, in wrestling as it used to be. So managers aren't as sought after. So basically, I'm running with the idea that I'm going to make my name as big as I can on this independent level.
That's important too. I think managers are super important in professional wrestling. I mean, like you said, it used to be way bigger than it is now, and it's kind of sad to see some of the managers aren't necessarily used as much as they should be, in my opinion. I think they should be used as much as possible.
I didn't got on my. It's no political ties or anything, but I've gotten on my Donald Trump deal, and my goal is to make management great again.
There you go. I think that's great. That's great. You should run on that.
Yeah, we'll vote you in.
I mean,
managers. You win with the wingman. I already got the slogan.
There you go.
Wingman.
Yeah. So if you sell shirts of that, I'll wear one every podcast if I have to, just to get that out there.
I'll be getting with my people.
I mean, managing is such a, and I mean, not to get, but when you get into managers, I feel like work better with heel wrestlers, bad guy wrestlers, right? I mean, you kind of, you let yourself, you can do more as a manager if you're with a heel.
I mean, there's some truth to that, but I've also played a manager that was a face, and it's not so much. You can pretty much run the same way that you would as a heel. It's just about how you go about saying things.
Right.
And then of course there's not a lot of cheating involved unless said group that's the heels are doing the cheating, and at that point, me as a face manager feels like I have no other choice but to get involved in this situation.
Right.
So it's all about how you go about telling the story.
Yeah, that's extremely important. So the psychology in wrestling is something that people don't talk about enough either. There's a lot that goes into it.
It definitely is, and that's why a lot of wrestlers, I know especially in the circle that I'm running in, have come to appreciate the management more because they realize it's an additive that helps take the storyline along.
Oh, absolutely.
There's somebody else that can have a part in what's going on. I've been hog-tied, I've been part of hardcore matches, hitting the head with stop signs and laid out under wrestlers' tables where they were selling merchandise, all kind of stuff. So yeah.
So do you still get nervous still when you're about to go out in front of the crowd, or has that kind of went away now?
Well, I'll tell you like this, and I've looked at it like this ever since I started doing any type of performing. If you're not nervous before you go out there, it's time to quit.
Yep, I've heard a lot of people say that.
And I honestly, and I 100% believe that, because there were times that I worked certain promotions and it was maybe just a one-off and I wasn't feeling the nerves. And I went out and had a lackluster performance, and it was just one of those situations where I wasn't completely behind what said promotion was trying to do, but because I had already agreed to the date, I had to fulfill it, which, yeah, it's times when you got to kind of pull yourself out and do the best you can, but I always have nerves.
Right.
I literally will use the restroom 10 minutes before the match, and right when they're announcing my name to come out, I use the bathroom again. That's going to have to wait.
Yeah, right. Darren, your old football coach, didn't he used to get sick too right before a big game, or just any game in general?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something.
That's just the nerves when they start setting in. You really.
Yeah, I've listened to Chris Jericho's podcast, and he's been wrestling for 30 years, and he still says he gets nervous. He gets the nervous. He said he gets the nervous shits when he is about ready to go out, and that's because he also has a rock band. So before he goes on stage
I
for
love
Fozzie's great, but he gets the nervous shits before that. He said, and then also before he goes out, in the ring. So I think you're right, though. I think there's part of that where you have to be nervous because that means that you actually care about what you're doing too. And
you're worried that you're not going to do a good job and that the fans aren't going to take you the way you want them to.
Right, yeah. I think it makes you work harder too, it makes you try to do better.
Definitely.
Because if you go out there and the crowd's not into it or pushing you, to do better, if you're falling flat with the crowd, that means you're not really doing I don't want to say doing the right thing, but you get what I'm trying to say, right?
I mean, it's kind of weird for me because sometimes I like the pressure of the crowd not instantly latching on, because then it means I have to turn up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, and work a little bit harder to actually get them. It's just not as easy as me walking out there and, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know, I like a little bit of competition or something that's gonna make me step my game up. I got a arch nemesis that's another manager that every time he's on a booking on the same show, he makes me step my game up.
Oh, well, can we ask who that is, or is that a secret?
Oh, it's not a secret. It's well known because we've had our differences, we've had our agreements, and we have agreed to let each other coexist and stay in our own lanes for now. And his name is David Barnabas Spector. He's the leader of Darkness Worldwide.
Yeah, I know who he is.
I mean, we have a mutual respect for each other, but
right.
I proved that I can dance better than him.
Yeah, well,
I can sword fight better than him. I look better than him. I dress better than him. I got more jewelry than him.
Yeah, no offense to him, but he kind of looks like an evil Mr. Clean.
Evil Mr.
Or something
Clean.
on those lines. But hey,
You said it.
I was gonna say, listen, hey, I respect him. He's no. Hey, I was at the last show. I seen he's got Congo Kong on his side. I don't want to get anywhere near Congo Kong. Scared, freaks me out.
He kicked me in the chest one time, and I'm still finding it hard to breathe.
He's a big dude, man. I don't want to mess with Congo Kong.
So I got a kind of weird question, but so what's it feel like getting slammed on a table or hit with a stop sign?
Yeah, that's a good question. It can't feel good.
See, I have a hard head. I mean, it made me see stars. Like, I think I might have, you know what I mean? I didn't quite pass out, but it was like one of those things like, whoa, this thing is harder than I thought it was.
Right.
You know, you got stop signs that look kind of thin, but they're pretty solid.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine getting hit by a stop sign.
I can't imagine. Wrestlers are tough. I cannot imagine doing that.
No, never.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to always think I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And then I got a little bit older and, really understood what they were doing. And I was like, no.
You had your reality set.
I tell you like this. Right now, I'm at the young age of 45, and I've been doing this since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's always, you know what I'm saying, that chance. If you got that drive and determination to pull it off.
Right.
I mean, I didn't go about it the conventional way. I've trained with multiple trainers, and I've been to different promotions and did seminars and things like that, but I've never, completed training per se at one particular training place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's probably most likely the best way to learn.
Yeah, and I kind of stole that from Teddy Long and a couple of other guys from back in the day that would sneak in and stay after or show up early and volunteer to help the company with setup and stuff like that, and just see an opportunity to show some personality or show a skill and take that opportunity and run with it. If they crack the door open and I can fit my foot in, and the rest of me is going to slide in not too late after that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So how is it that so you've been working with Battle on the Border for 5 years now, is that right? 5 years?
Yep.
Yeah. So how is it, I mean, the last 5 years have had to have been pretty crazy. How's it been working for Battle on the Border?
It's had its ups and downs, but for the most part, like, I believe Battle on the Border is a pretty strong company, and we've built a lot of wrestlers up, and we've gotten the opportunity to have bigger stars come and help put a spotlight on those of us that are trying to make it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. How was it at that last show that was in Cleves? Well, a couple months ago now, I would guess. That was a lot. There was a lot of people there. Is that the biggest crowd that you've ever worked in front of, or is there a bigger one?
In wrestling, I think the biggest crowd I worked in front of was about roughly 250 people.
Right.
I've been in front of crowds of about like 3 and some change, doing different shows. I opened up for a rock band over at Molly Malone's back in my younger years, and there was a decent amount of people there, probably close to about 300 plus.
Right. That's got to be. I mean, that's an impressive group of people or amount of people to work in front of. That's a lot. I never.
Definitely.
I mean.
But I'm not satisfied with it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm
yeah.
somewhere where it's like 1,000, 2,000 people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you look at that amount of people, then you think, damn, I actually made it. and then share yourself a little bit. There's so many people out there.
You just made it to your next goal. Now you got to set another one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to keep going, keep pushing upward.
Yeah.
So.
I keep.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good.
So this next Battle on the Border show that's coming up on May 14th. Just give us a little bit of a preview of what you'll be doing there, or if you're going to be doing anything there.
Well, right now, I'm still working on a match for Jake, but of course, if you're keeping up with Battle on the Border, you see that Jake Judge is going to be going against his ex-best friend, which I think is the sucker and the traitor, in this tournament, that he's going to win.
Oh, yeah?
Because trust me, I manage clients to championships. And just to give you a little background on that, I managed Brandon Xavier, which at one time he held the heavyweight title there.
Mm-hmm.
I managed Jocelyn Navarro when she was women's champion there. I managed a successful tag team there. So there's only a few accomplishments that I haven't, you know what I'm saying, made there yet, and one of them is getting that belt on Jake. But right now, my main focus and goal is we want the tag titles back.
Right.
Because they played us, and they've been playing us, and they think we just gonna wait around and sit and hope something happens. Like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Like, I'm about to have to turn around and bring a little bit of the old Russell to Battle on the Border and show them a little bit of muscle and some force and let them know if we don't get it given to us, we gonna take it.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I like hearing that. Now, at the last show, too, there was a little bit, the tag team match was a little bit wild. There was a little bit of, extra curricular going on the outside of the ring. Same with the Battle Royal that went on later. There was kind of some stuff going on outside of the ring. I mean, that was kind of wild.
Yeah, that was due to haters.
Oh.
That's all it is. There's a lot of marquee haters out there, and Amos is one of the biggest ones. He's been the proverbial thorn in my side almost since our beginnings at Battle on the Border. And it seems like everywhere I go, he pops up no matter where it is, and I'm getting tired of it.
I mean, you have to admit, Amos, he's pretty talented, though. I mean,
don't get me wrong, I don't doubt any of these guys' talent in the locker room. They wouldn't be booked on Battle on the Border if they weren't talented. but there's level of talent. And then there's also levels of annoying and a roach and a water bug mixed together.
Damn.
Oh, well, I mean, there you go. I mean, I don't know if he's going to hear this, but if he does, I don't know if he'll like being compared to a roach and a water bug,
Yeah, I mean, it is
all-
what it is. Amos he just won't go away, no matter what we do.
Right. Oh, I mean,
So,
yeah, I don't know. He seems to be a fan favorite, though. Fans seem to like him for some reason, I don't get it.
yeah, that's because he's always pandering to the fans.
Yeah.
He asked them, what do you want me to do? Should I do this? Cheer for me, guys. That's the thing. Like, the Marquee Players, we're not begging or pandering for anything.
Yeah.
We going in there and we putting in the work.
Yeah,
The fans ain't smart enough to understand these guys are winners and these are the people we should be backing. Not this guy over here that's so worried about how all the crowd feels and cheer for me. I don't care if you cheer or boo. At the end of the day, we getting paid and we here to collect championships.
Yeah, it's business.
Oh, yeah.
It's strictly business. Do you ever, I mean, it has to be even harder to go out there because the fans are pretty hostile. I mean, those fans can be, they're always respectful enough, I guess, but some of them can get pretty hostile. I mean, and like I said, I don't get
I've been threatened here or there, but with me, where I grew up and the way I was raised, you either put up or shut up.
Right, yeah. No, I get it.
You gotta really show me that you're gonna do something. The majority of these fans, I'd say 99% of them, they don't understand how well trained a wrestler is and how skilled they are, and the fact that they're not in there pillow fighting.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the wrestler runs circles all day around.
Yeah.
Because they work out so damn much.
So I would advise any fan thinking about trying to wrestle or getting it, don't do it, because it's not gonna end up good for you.
No, I agree, absolutely. I mean, I've wrestlers that pander to the crowd, it's just, I just, I get it, I guess, you want to go out there and get liked, but I mean, most of the times it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't really end up well because the fans get into your head a little. Like you said, you always just work to impress them. Well, that's not, you're distracted.
Yeah, it's not going to win you a championship.
You're not gonna get there to win. I mean, but for some people it seems to whatever floats their boat, whatever works for them, I guess. But
How's the level of smack talk? How does that affect you guys as a manager and wrestler?
Well, sometimes I feel like I get the short end of the stick on that one because I'm a manager and a lot of these fans feel like, oh, he's just a manager. I can take him. I might not be able to beat up the wrestler, but I can take him.
right,
But they don't realize the background that I have. And I wouldn't be a manager if I didn't have a wrestling background. I didn't know how to take care of myself. Not saying I'm the toughest guy or I'm looking for a fight, because I'm not. But at the same time, I'm not the softest guy either.
no, absolutely not, absolutely not.
That's the trash talking. I got comebacks. We can trash talk all day, because that's all it is trash talking. At the end of the day, it gets set at the curb, the rookie comes and picks it up, and then it's gone.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I think that's the best way to put it. Shoot, I had another question, but I forgot it. I fucking
Yeah, you do this all the time.
lost my train of thought.
You gotta get focused.
Hey, sometimes
I don't want to waste Russell's time here.
me neither.
Yeah, see, like you did, like I got food on the way, a little bit of gourmet salad and rice, you know what I'm
there we
saying?
go.
Like, I got other things to do. I got I got to hit Greenfield this weekend, so
Oh.
yeah, I got
No, we don't want to wait. We don't want to waste any time. I appreciate the time you're taking out for us so far.
Yes, me too.
That's all good. That's all good. I'll tell you what though, you definitely gonna have to have me back again because I still got a lot to say. I got so much inside information about certain situations that are gonna be going on real soon here. Down on the border sooner is gonna change.
Well, I mean,
it's going to change for the better. People are going to be surprised, but the Marquee Players are definitely about to take this spot on the Mount Rushmore Battle on the Border.
hey, I mean, listen, if you want to say something else, we got plenty of time. Yeah.
But right now, I think I done gave y'all enough of what my plans are. Cause I like to compare it to super villains on TV.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, and so I learned from them. I'm not going to divulge all my plans and what I'm about to do, because then that gives you the opportunity to possibly sabotage what I got going on.
No, that's smart. So all right. So I'll tell you. Then I'll say this: May 14th, Morrow Arts Center. I'll be there. We'll be there. There's the fans. If you're watching this, hopefully you're going to be there too. We got to see what's going on. We're promising some big things.
Show up. Jet and Jet is going to run through that tournament, get that zero gravity title, and the next move is to get the tag team gold.
There you go.
So fans, if y'all out there, y'all listening, Battle on the Border, Marquee Players, you heard from the ultimate wingman, Russell Actafool Blaine. We ain't playing.
All right. Well, is that all you have to say? Is there anything else you wanted to say before we end this?
I'd just like to try to stay humble and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to kind of spread my word and let people know what the Marquee Players mission statement is, you know what I mean, and help Battle on the Border to get a bigger spotlight on us, because at the end of the day, we the only ones that matter.
Absolutely.
I don't know about anybody else that decides to put the players' word on their tag team or whatever faction you want to call it, but it's a guy out there that decided they wanted to be players too, so sooner or later they're going to have to see the original players of Battle on the Border.
All right. All right. Well, hey, listen, I do want to just say we appreciate you being here as well. You're our first wrestler that we interviewed Denham not too long ago, but you're our first wrestler or manager, member of the roster that we've been able to interview. So we super appreciate the fact that you were willing to give up some of your time, and absolutely would love to have you back anytime you want. Just let me know and we'll get it set up.
I'm always willing to help out the little guy. So you need a little boost. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Holler at your boy.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely, anytime. And
Sure.
you enjoy that salmon and rice. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
I gotta stay fresh and fit. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, man. I'll see you. Thank you again.